in cooking Lambsquarter bread is to get a fire started. So we're on our way. And something I like to pride myself with, and somebody had taught me this actually, is to not to waste matches, is to get a fire started with one match. And I just love it when it works, every time. All right, hang on, here we go, guys. I feel something building up inside me. I must prepare, I must get ready. Serving you, Yahweh, keeps me strong and steady. For you, Lord, I'll go for green living. Hey guys, we are making our Lambsquarter bread for the, I don't want to tell you how many times. We'll put some outtakes at the end of the video.
We are trying to go gluten-free, and it's really hard. We really wanted to make our own flours, but have discovered that we really need to start with gluten-free baking flour that's already pre-mixed. We've heard so many things like 1 part starch, 2 part flour, protein, or 40% grains to 60% starch. So we're going to go the easy route to start out with so we can make sure our bread turns out just right.
So we're going to use 3.5 cups of the gluten-free baking powder and
baking flour.
And we're use 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, and make sure that's mixed in there good. This is to activate our yeast, and I always put honey in all my breads, and this is a nice raw honey. Oops.
And we'll
put a little.
We're supposed to put 3 teaspoons, but my hubby guesstimates.
3 teaspoons? Okay, we'll put a little more. There we go. It's good stuff. Alright, now we make sure that's all mixed up. This water is about 110, 115 degrees right here.
You want to make sure to use warm water, not hot, but warm, not cold.
Alright, we're going to take our yeast, we're going to pour that in there, and we're going to make sure that's mixed in there good. Doesn't have to be completely mixed up, I mean, it never really does right, but that should be good. Alright, we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes. This is our 3.5 cups of the baking flour, and we want about 3/4 cup of our dried Lambsquarter, and we're going to put that in there. It's going to make it pretty green. Now we want a teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt. We're going to put that in there. Now that's going to be our dry ingredients, and when we come back we're going to add a 1/4 cup of coconut oil with our yeast mixture, and we're going to mix all this up and see if it turns into dough.
Yeast is nice and bubbly, and now we're going to add in our wet ingredients.
It's a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And then everybody knows me, I just stick my hand right in and mix it up.
It is pretty fun to do that. It's like being a kid again, making bud pies. Or just making cob.
Yeah.
We're adding 2 eggs and a 1/4 cup of milk. That's the fun about it, though.
Definitely sticky now.
That's what we want. Gluten-free flours definitely take a lot of research. But it is definitely all worth it.
Really sticking in my hand. Alright, this is more of a dough ball this time. So I'm going to put out a little bit flour, lightly flour my cutting board. Start kneading this to turn it into a dough ball. I'm going to knead this about 150 times, so I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll let you see. We got our dough ball about ready. It doesn't spring back like normal bread would, but this is gluten-free, so we're just going to go with that. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to place it in a greased bowl right here. Make a ball. And then I'm going to flip it over so that the whole thing is nice and greased up. And now I'm going to let that rise for about an hour. I'm going to put it in a warm place. Alright, we let our bread rise for about an hour. It didn't double in size, but it did fill up that pan. So I'm going to mash it down and put it in that pan and let it rise for another 25 minutes. And my warming area happens to be in my truck, so let me try to do this. We when we fire up the oven, we cook our dinner meals in there too, and these are baked potatoes. Now I can hold that a little better. You can see our baked potatoes. And let me show you how I put it back there. Alright, the coals are in there in the back, so I'm just going to move these back close to the coals, not in the coals. Just close to them. Like that. Alright, can y'all see that? And now that we've, I can hear them already cooking too close to the coals. There we go. Alright, I'm going to put the door on and let them cook for about 45 minutes. Also going in the oven, it is a stuffed chicken breast with figs. And I'm going to let that cook for, and I let it rise another 25 minutes, and as you can see, it has doubled in size and filled up the pan. Now I'm going to slide it in the oven and let it cook for about 30 minutes. Baked potatoes, I have these big tongs, but they don't work very well. It's still very hot when you reach back there. And I just want to check these. Oh yeah, they're done. So I'm going to pull these out. There we go. It's still very hot back there. in the way. Two of them. Ooh, ouch. There we go. All right, let's our potatoes out. All right, here's the final finished product. You're gonna see it when I see it. It's green. But it looks done. It smells really good. I can smell it from here. Nice honey smell. Alright, I'm going to get this to the house. Let it cool for a minute. Alright, it's very green. And I put a little butter on this piece right here. And I'm going to try it. Actually, that's really good.
Really? Awesome!
That's really good. That's the way to do it, guys. Alright, that's the end of our video.
So I've decided to also make lamb quarter pancakes. I put 1 cup and then 1/3 a cup of gluten-free flour, and I put a 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and now I'm going to add my wet ingredients. So I've added all my wet ingredients, which was 2 eggs, 2 cups of water, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil, and then I put a little bit of honey in there. Not an exact measurement, I did it like my hubby did earlier. I'll get this stirred up and let y'all see. I've got everything mixed in. And I wanted to let y'all know that I only added about 1/4 a cup of Lambsquarter to this recipe. But you can see how green it is. I've added my coconut oil to the pan. And just bear with me. I'm not as good as my husband is holding the camera with one hand. Be back in just a second. Alright, so I'm adding the batter to the pan. Well, this might look a little bit like a ladybug pancake. I'll be back and show y'all what it turns out like. Perfect! So here's a few of the pancakes. And, well, couldn't help myself. I had to try them. And they are good. We added a little bit of honey to the mixture. And, I'm glad we did. Alright, later guys.
Alright guys, we had the kid approval. Ani Ove Ocha means I love you in Hebrew. Living the way you meant for me to live is what I strive to do every day. As I live off the land, lead me at your pace. For you, Lord, I'll go for great living. Help me to feed all the hungry. Use me, Lord, to ease their misery. From all this worldly pain and captivity. For you, Lord, I'll go for great living. I feel something building up inside me. I must prepare, I must get ready.